Hey guys, welcome to our review of Mashin Sentai Kiramager, episode 1. As always, I'm your host, Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have...
Cinder Blaze.
And Makotoa.
God, yeah, welcome back! Guys, we got done watching this episode a while ago. We're a little bit late on this review, but that means you got a little bit more time to get your thoughts in, so we'll get to those at the end of this review. But first up, let's just talk about what we thought about episode 1. I know Alex and we really got into it after the show, so I sort of know what you think. Michael, I haven't really talked to you about it. What are your thoughts on them?
Well, like I said, when I watched the episode and messaged into the group chat, yeah, I really wasn't expecting it I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, honestly. For an episode 1, like, I expected it to be one of those kinds of, okay, we have a quota, we've got to get this all done in an episode 1, so I expected the pacing to be weird, or also, I wasn't really jiving that well with Red in episode 0, so I wasn't sure how I was gonna think about him in this one. And I don't know, lately Reds haven't started off like on a good foot for me, so I was not very optimistic, but I actually liked him by the end of this episode, so color me surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To what you said about turning around on Red, I feel like at least that happened with me as well. I understood the intent of what they were going for, and I really appreciated that they're trying something slightly different with having him be a little bit more meek and like be a bit more humble about his talents. But when you saw him get to, I don't know, play by his own rules or like get into the groove of things, it really became fun. And I think basing our excitement of a battle off of someone who's genuinely excited about just the suits, the colors, the changes, and everything, really elevates the enjoyment factor. Not
I
at
think
all.
that I think that's something like looking back on it, it kind of helped explain like why I really liked the episode, just because Red was enjoying it like just as much as I
Yeah.
was in the moment. Um, and like like I don't think a lot of us really liked Red at the very beginning. I think the way that the actor kind of does like the drawing stuff, it was just like kind of getting on my nerves. It's like a bit over the top. It felt really fake.
The
But
moment you said something about tic-tac-toe, that has been the only thing that I've thought about.
yeah, like it was like annoying, but I think they spent a little bit less time on that. He got to interact with like basically everyone except I think like their base leader. I don't think he like really interacted with him all too much. But shoot, like he gets in there like pretty fresh. Like everyone else already has like the combat experience, and he just kind of like waltz in there, kind of like all bumbling and confused. His his plastic cube has some faith in him, so I'll trust in the plastic.
My dude,
Yeah.
I always trust in the plastic.
Yeah, but um, I really loved how Yellow just was not happening it like from the get go, like
Yeah.
like
No,
I don't
it
think
was
we've
great.
had oh, go for it.
I appreciated sort of the really how quick they were able to characterize these people and put their relationships in a context like early on, because you got to see Green be a bit more bubbly and sort of into it, like, oh yeah, nah, I wasn't really looking forward to this guy, but at least he looks cool, um like just the subtle things that they do with each of the characters, um even in the fights and stuff, I thought it really helped. I think the weakest one though for me was Blue because he's just cool guy.
Dude, he's
So
too cool for a personality. Like that's what he's approaching for me. Yeah.
uh, the stuff with Pink consistently great. Uh, absolutely loving that. Um, and then yeah, like the small subtle touches with the relationship with Yellow is some of the funnier stuff. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's a really good way to kind of like set the foundation for the rest of the series. I think like we've had other episode ones where they probably like a bit more impactful. I think like maybe like Loop Pad slightly just because like a new dynamic that we haven't seen before. Remember Q
They had
Ranger just
style,
yeah
capital
and
S style.
uh yeah, but it's been like a long time since I remember them. And like Q Ranger was also just something that was like completely over our heads, like because it's just something that we haven't seen before in like Sentai. So
I think um like the characters did a lot of work to get to where they were in this episode. It took a lot of like exposition on Red's part, like Red had to carry it, and we got the episode 0 to get a little bit more of that in, but once we started running, once Red transformed, um then the action ramped up and it felt like, oh yeah, this is them showing off, and I absolutely love it and I need more of it. Um, and the mecha didn't happen this week, but we got to see this dope fight scene with the vehicles, which I think I said this in the watch along or something, but I forgot that it was something I love so much and wasn't something I knew I needed until I saw it.
Surprisingly creative use with the just with the crane, and then they had them as just the blocks, and you just
Yeah,
smacked them, and that was like the kind of finisher.
I loved it. And like when you're able to base like a lot of your power set off of imagination, um, it really helps sort of like it lets you let go of like the semantics of an actual battle and just fall in love with the fight and just how spectacular it is.
yeah,
And I was absolutely there uh every second of it.
yeah. Hopefully, like everything else doesn't get like super boring and stupid like it did with Tokuger though.
Oh my god.
What do you guys think
No,
about
no.
the power scaling going forward? Because already we're being told that Red has this unique power that only the king had, where he can just pretty much, imagination and create. And
Yeah,
that
I guess no one else in the universe is a designer.
it's I feel I mean we're always gonna have that like power level difference between Red and the rest of the crew for the most part, but I'm a little scared that it's gonna get out of hand for this one. But there's not a lot uh, to go off of besides that just initial discovery, so we don't know how far they might, I don't know, lean into it, or if they'll try to balance it out. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like
I'll play it safe for now. Like I don't. We'll give it a few episodes. For me, I'm giving it a few episodes to cool down.
Hmm.
Because they're just riding high on episode 1 and 0. So we'll
yeah,
see
I
what
will.
happens.
I want to say, Corey, you know how you mentioned that he's kind of meek and that like
Yeah.
he's humble about his power or whatever. I like that him in this episode he came to like this point where he's like, okay, I'm not there yet, but I want to change. And then he did the henshin,
Uh-huh.
and morphed or changed into the Power Ranger or the Sentai, right? Like it. I really like that little tie-in, and I like that that's kind of his, I don't know, his character point, his moment where I
Yeah.
want to
Like
change. I like that a lot. That's
I
really
I genuinely love the energy he emanates from just being a fan of what he's seeing. And like what we've been saying, it makes me love the fights and get invested in the action. Alex, you were trying to talk.
All
Say
right, I
no.
got my point, dude. Already.
Great,
Rip.
cool. But you know who didn't forget your point? Or not your point.
I was like,
your
you
point. The
remember?
person
I don't even know.
You know who didn't? The comment section of the watch along that we can now go to mine it for your points. So first up, we have John Hendrick saying, really solid opening episode. I'm super excited for this show. That ending dance is dumb, but I love that song. I thought the song was fine. Like,
Thought the
I'm
dance
not...
was better than the last Sentai's, to be honest.
I
forgot you soldiers ending.
It's so all over the place.
I'll be honest, I didn't really the ending theme didn't connect with me like a lot of other people had. I don't know. I'm just it doesn't excite me. It might take me a few episodes to get into that groove, but for now I'm just like, eh.
I think like Sentai endings are kind of like all over the place in terms of not like all over the place. There's just like a really nice base level. And then like you have some that are just like knockout. Like the most recent one I remember is the Q Ranger one because oh man, that's stuck in your head.
Then again, I feel like you know how there's like this tonal dissonance when something horrifying happens at the end of an episode and then you get the fun dance at the end? I feel like this is one of the only ones where it might always fit. It might always have a place. You know? So that might have something going for it.
We'll see.
Yeah. Next up, we have Yuki Miyazaki giving Double the Unknown a run for his money. She says, or he said, I'm not quite sure. The profile picture is a girl, so I'm going with she. Feel free to correct me in the comments. All right, this is probably the most fun I had with the first episode of a Sentai. I'm glad that they didn't rush the mecha immediately, and even when they get to the mecha, it just individual Mashin into their vehicle mode and stone mode. Although Red in this episode is kind of annoying with his insparkleration, like especially in the last segment, he really ramped up on his stick a lot. Wait, he last segment he really ramped up on his stick a lot. Hope they tone that down to just a few times. It seems Yellow Tamatomo, I'm sorry with words, is felt a little jealous in this episode, like he felt Red have taken his spotlight in terms of coolness. I don't know. Hope they use this as a little hurdle in the team for a little while, but not too long, because I don't want it to become another case with Thouser again. Interesting. I mean, like
Thouser is something else. Thouser's like a cancer.
It's like I understand the idea of having a continuing thorn in someone's side, possibly.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like Bowser's way different. I do understand the notion though of getting your characters to like each other, because that was what killed it for X8 for me. So yeah, I agree in that sense.
I'm down for some like competitive stuff between Yellow and Red. I feel like it's still we've had teams that have overall really liked each other, you know, minus Lupat type thing, because that was two teams pitted against each other. So I like that, you know, not the entire team gets along at first. I think that gives room for development before they all become a cohesive unit. I think that's kind of like one of the nice aspects of when you watch, say, like a sports movie, is the team isn't always together at the start, and then it's satisfying when they all get together and become cohesive unit at the end.
Yeah. I don't watch sports. But the comment continues.
Do you remember the Titans?
Yeah. Unfortunately, there were 2 seasons of it. Uh,
Ugh. All right, we're
that
done.
song
Let's go.
actually really, huh?
Oh, go ahead. Never mind.
That ending dance song actually really good for some reason, and it sounded a lot better compared to Rhea's Soldier ending. No ill feeling to the actress who sang the song, but I just think the song is better. Um, don't know how the hell Red Dances was and Blue looks so dead inside every time the camera panned to him. Overall, pretty enjoyable episode in my opinion. Hope they make it fun, although I'm worried about the sales since it looks like they're going more they're going for weaponizer Mashin more with limbs Mashin. More than with limbs Mashin. They're just talking about the toys now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, see, a lot of people are liking the ending. It's not I don't know why it hasn't hit for me like everyone else, but I don't know.
We'll
I'm
focus
gonna
on
be
it
curious
during the
to
next
go
watch
on.
along.
Yeah,
So-
because like it was just there, and I don't even remember it because of that. It was just the first time, so
Yeah, Red,
yeah.
Red doing his version of the PP dance really really distracted me.
I was kind of disappointed that they didn't all do the PP dance.
But the one from Teen Titans Go. See, I do remember the Titans. Guys, Double the Unknown with a final comment saying the pacing was just as rushed as any other first episode, but episode 0 supplements for this. I also like that this episode kind of connects to the ending of episode 0, yet if you failed to watch that, you can still understand enough from this episode alone. Red's powers feel a bit busted that he seems to be a fun character. And I am enjoying the show a lot so far. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that I felt rushed.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it either. I thought that it was paced pretty well.
Surprisingly well.
Yeah.
I think it was
Especially
probably Red's
Mhm.
addition to the team probably felt a little bit like rushed because just kind of like was just inserted there.
I mean, then again, I do wonder what the effect would be like if we just watched episode 1 without 0, because 0 gave a lot of context that they gave nods to in episode 1, but if you just watched episode 1, you saw those very quick flashback nods, and you probably went something like, oh no, information that I needed to absorb.
Perhaps.
They're
Yeah.
just flashing this information at me, you know? So that is interesting. I'm interested to see certain perspectives, though I don't think many people are gonna watch episode 1 without 0.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking back at like thinking back to other episode ones for Sentai, and man, like remember freaking Q Rangers episode 1, how like we crammed Red and Doggy's backstory, not Doggy, Garu's backstory into the same episode and had to have all the other quota stuff. Like that was one of the most memorable rushed episode ones I can think of.
Mhm.
And so this
Like
definitely felt
they had 9 whole people to try to begin with, so
yeah.
they had
whole-
to.
yeah.
That one I kind of understood, but
Yeah.
this one I didn't feel rushed. So yeah, guys, those are your comments. Those are our thoughts. Those are our thoughts about your thoughts about our thoughts. So why don't you tell us your thoughts about our thoughts about your thoughts in the comments down below. I've thoroughly confused the both of you. Hope you have an awesome quarantine. Keep it juicy.
But not too juicy.
No. Keep the juice to yourself, but you can still keep it juicy.
Yeah, don't get the droplets everywhere. That's how it.
That's how it spreads.
You can't
Yeah.
pick your friend's nose.
That's right, spread it like butter. Hey guys.